Hello, this is Idodmg and welcome back to the channel. In this Blizzconline video, I want to talk about my thoughts and impressions about some of the announcements that happened at BlizzCon Online 2021. This just happened this past week, and there are some really cool details and informations that really just kind of got me excited for the Diablo franchise again. The first thing I want to talk about is the Diablo 4 news and how they did that vlog form instead of doing the typical text blog that they've done in the past. That new rogue announcement looked insane. I counted at least 7 different rogue-like skills, from mobility skills, rain of arrows, different shots that they can use, different melee skills as well. And then you could see the different modifiers and the elements on those skills. That got me excited to see what we can do with the rogue. It looks fun, it looks flashy, and it looks like what you would expect from a rogue type of class. One thing I do want to comment on here is the gameplay still looked a little bit early to me. It didn't look bad by any means. It still looked better than Last Epoch's combat is currently. But for a Diablo game, it just really didn't look exactly 100% polished like we've come to expect from the franchise. And this is just something I noticed, and that kind of makes me happy that we're still a ways off from Diablo 4. As much as I want the game right now, I want the game to be just so polished, so fluid, and just amazing so that we have a game to play for years to come into the future. Some other Diablo 4 news they talked about was PvP. This has been a hot topic, especially within the DMGCREW community. We have people on both sides of the fence here. You have the people that, just generally speaking, of PvP in games, they prefer an opt-in option. I'm on that side of the fence. I don't like to have forced PvP. I've played forced PvP games in the past, and I'm just generally not a huge fan of them. I will play them from here and there, but it's definitely not my favorite thing. I think PvP should be something that I agree to doing. We also have people on the other side of the fence that want PvP to be a thing that's just part of the game. I'm happy to say that in Diablo 4, the PvP will be opt-in. There's going to be a zone that you go to within the world of Diablo 4. I think they called it the Fields of Hate, where you can get these hate shards. And then once you get so many, there are these currencies, but you have to actually cleanse them before you can then use the currency. But when you go to cleanse these, everyone is notified on the map that's in that zone that you're trying to cleanse those. They can then come and try to PK you, steal your shards and all that stuff. While this all sounded really sweet, the very first thing that I thought of when I heard them talking about this on the developer vlog was it's Division 2. It's just like the Dark Zone in Division 2, where you have these corrupted items that you have to cleanse before you can actually take them out of the zone. Another thing that I noticed is when you're notified that these players are doing that, it's very similar to World of Warcraft's assassin system, where if someone is just killing other players, they show up on your map. They're worth more if you kill them. It's definitely not a bad thing by any means. I definitely think the PvP area being optional is something that I will partake in, and it's something that I look forward to, and I'm really curious to see how they're going to balance PvP in this Diablo type of game. The last bit I want to talk about here when it comes to Diablo 4 is the world. I absolutely love how they're doing this shared world, this open world type of game. I think it's just wonderful, and being able to have these mounts to get around. One thing I really noticed in the gameplay footage was that dismount, and I think it was the sorcerer, I believe, where she dismounted and shot out ice shards when she landed off the mount. So mounts aren't just for just getting around quickly. They can also be used to your advantage strategically in combat as well. Think about getting that opening move, just dismounting, shooting down frost shards, freezing them in place, and then starting out your rotation. It just sounds awesome. I mean, I love that mounts are going to have a little bit of an impact into combat. Now, there's not going to be like fully mounted combat or anything like that, which is totally fine by me. It's not that type of game. It's more about using your class's skill set, build, special items, and uniques, and all that stuff that we've come to love from the genre. On to Diablo 2. Diablo 2 is a game that I did not play in the early 2000s. I've played it in recent years, and I just always wished that it was more modernized. Back when it came out in 2000, all I had was console side. We didn't have a PC when I was a kid. I didn't really have a PC until probably about high school and early college years, so I really just didn't have an option to play Diablo 2. I'm excited for the Diablo 2 Resurrection announcement. I'm definitely pumped to see what a modern take on Diablo 2 is like and get a more perspective of the genre and to see some of the historical things that have happened. My number one concern with Diablo 2 Resurrected, and I'm sure other people share this concern with me, is let's hope they pull it off correctly. Me not being one that played it back in the day, I'm not going to be able to fully know and say, yep, this is how it was, or this is how I remember it. But we're fortunate enough to have many of you that did play it back in the day and are avid fans of the genre, and possibly that's the game that made you fall in love with ARPGs. I really hope that they can cater and pull off and make that whole crowd super pleased so that we can just have this to continue playing, reminisce, and enjoy something that's a bit more modern. One other thing I want to mention about the Diablo 2 Resurrected is I was shocked at how pretty the game actually looked. That modern approach, it's not just graphics they're enhancing, there's also quality of life features that we would expect now in a modern day game. And I think it's wonderful that they're adding those, and I just really can't wait to play it. And also we're going to have cross-platform saves. So I'm hoping that it's on Nintendo Switch so that when I'm out and about waiting in the pickup line for my son's school, I can just bring the Switch and continue to progress my character there. And then when I get back home, hop on my PC and the save is still there. That's huge. That's absolutely huge, man. I'm excited for it, and I know everyone else is as well. This being a Diablo BlizzCon online video that I'm talking about, I do want to talk about Diablo Immortal. I know that it is a mobile phone game, and I have nothing against that. I have played mobile games here and there, especially in my own personal time when I'm just laying around chilling, or maybe I'm out and I don't have access to my computer. I play the random phone game from here and there. It's nothing hardcore by any means. But Diablo Immortal looks really special. And I was a little bit jealous that I didn't get into the closed alpha. Maybe I should move to Australia so that I can be. But anyway, Diablo Immortal looks great. It looks really great, even though they did reuse a lot of Diablo 3 assets. They talked about during the Blizzconline portion of the Diablo Immortal panel, they talked about implementing controller support. That is absolutely huge for me. I just can't sit there on my phone for an extended period of time. I'm sure I could. I'd probably need a lot of ibuprofen for my thumbs. But if they're going to add controller support, that would be just wonderful. How awesome would it be if I could somehow plug in my keyboard and mouse and then just hook my phone up to my TV and then just play it that way, so it's as if it was a PC game. That would be freaking awesome. But anyway, I'm excited for Diablo Immortal. I think they have a lot of interesting systems. They do teeter a little bit on pay to win, but from what I've seen and what I understand about the game, it's not super pay to win like you would see it in, the generic Korean MMO where you buy a costume and that costume has stats on it. It's not that bad in Diablo Immortal. I saw the monetization was mainly around the Elder Rifts, and then you can buy a higher one so you can get a little bit higher chance. So they're more of speed up mechanics as opposed to pay to win mechanics. And I think that's okay, especially since Diablo Immortal is going to be a free-to-play game. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this BlizzCon Online Diablo video. I'm really excited for the Diablo franchise, and I'm really excited for what's to come. I really like the way that they're going with Diablo 4 and Diablo Immortal of the open world approach. I am one of those, and on the channel it's always been ARPGs, MMORPGs, and everything in between. I absolutely love ARPGs. I love the builds, I love stats, skill trees, gear, item, loot, all that fun stuff. But I also do enjoy the MMO and the sense of world and community that comes with being in an open world, running in and bumping to and playing with other players. So if they could really mesh my two favorite genres into one super genre, the MMO ARPG, that would just be my absolute dream come true. I hope one day we can really see that succeed. I did have high hopes for Lost Ark, but I'm kind of thinking that's probably a lost cause now, and I don't know, maybe it'll never happen. Who knows? Anyway, before I start to ramble about a whole nother topic here, and let's go ahead and wrap up this BlizzConline 2021 Diablo video. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I really enjoy sharing my thoughts about what was discussed at BlizzCon this year. If you guys have any comments or thoughts or anything that you want to talk about, or maybe you have totally different opinions than I do, I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to keep the conversation going. We do have a DMGCREW Discord, small little community growing over there, and I would like to invite you to come be a part of the conversation, come hang out with some nerds. We also have a dedicated Valheim server that we're growing as well. We also have Twitter, and I also now live stream primarily here on the YouTube channel. I'd love to see your name in chat and talk with you and see what's going on in your life. Feel free to stop by. I primarily stream on Friday and Saturdays here on the YouTube channel. We also have the upcoming stream playlist. Make sure you check that out, set those reminders. And if you enjoy this video and all the content on the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell to get notified when I post new weekly videos. Feel free to share the channel with a friend. Your support means the absolute world to me. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.